Look, the demons arrive sturdy. We let it fly, birdie.
Oh, we here. Jezz Gasoline, Kids of Hip Hop.
Yeah.
Big Opp.
Big Opp America.
Yo, so for a lot of people who don't know, Jezz is really one of the originators of this drill shit. Like back in 2016, dropped Big Opps. That went crazy. Then early 2017, I want to say, yeah, he got a lot of other artists together for Big Opp America, and that shit went even crazier. Right. What about that song do you think was just so iconic?
Honestly, I think, just the whole sound was like fresh. It was kind of like new, like the wave of, disrespecting your ops and shit like that. That shit was like very, very disrespectful, you feel me? And, the shit did something that I ain't even expected really to do, you feel me? But, whoa, the shit went crazy. I also feel like just like the energy from it alone, just, that energy like was just crazy. Still to this day, I don't feel like it's like the energy is not like how that era was, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, that shit pretty much like started off the wave. It started people trying to, I guess, hop on drill, or maybe just not even necessarily hop on it, but diss they ops. Right. Did you ever expect that to be the case?
Nah, hell no. I definitely didn't even like. That wasn't my intentions to do that. I ain't trying to get nobody hurt, feel me? Yeah. If you look at other interviews, I was letting people know, like listen to this shit like cautiously, you feel me, or play it, like, cause you never know how other people take things, you feel me? You might sing a song or somebody might not like the song or whatever, but nobody cared. I had everybody, you feel me? Everybody was singing this shit, like the youth, everybody. This shit was crazy.
Nah, that's a fact. It's kind of like how Chicago came up where there would be certain tracks where like they be name dropping the ops, and that shit would dead as be on the radio.
Exactly, and then now the ops gotta hear that, you feel me? Now the ops gotta hear it every day, you feel me? So they gotta deal with that. They gotta deal with hearing you disrespect they dead homies and shit like that. So, and that's when I feel like that's when they kind of like tried to like slowly like push it away type shit, or like switch it up a little bit, Nah,
and it's crazy because now we're really seeing it has a lot of legs. Like obviously I feel like Bambino, Curly Sav was one of the originators of this shit, but then 2G's as well as Sheff G, they was going crazy with they back and forths. Then all the way up to Pop Smoke, where that shit took a mainstream turn to the point where you were saying where they was trying to take it away, but then it kind of blew up on its own and nobody could really do anything.
Can't do anything about it, right?
What do you feel like, because you weren't really, I feel like you kind of took a back seat, meanwhile the mainstream of like drill was kind of blowing up. Would you agree with that? And like kind of what happened in your life that you weren't really at the forefront of it while it was blowing up into the mainstream?
I kind of had like, a lot of personal things going on or whatever, as far as like my case, I had a daughter at the time that was on the way and shit. So I just had to mentally, get everything right. Everything was happening fast and shit. But what I could say is I never stopped making music. Like I always continue making music and shit. I just had it in my email the whole time. You feel me? So it was like, it took that like, nah, I'm not, you feel me? I'm not jacking that no more, bro. Put this shit out. We doing this. You feel me? I had to just step it up again.
Yeah. Do you feel like you weren't dropping because you was trying to lay low just because of legal things, or like more like just you wasn't feeling it?
I kind of wasn't feeling it. Like I kind of, I kind of lost even, you feel me? Like I won't say the hunger, because I still was making the music. Like I said, I knew I had to still do that, but I kind of lost the interest in it. Like it was like, like I felt like I could take a break, like honestly, like, let me take a break right now and, get my personal shit right. I ain't think people was going, feel me, flip it or try to turn it as if like however they took it as. Like, nah, I still had music. Like music always was being made and shit like that. Like still, like if you really was a hardcore fan, you'll tune in. Like, nah. Type shit. But I did stop dropping on SoundCloud a lot, so that's probably a reason too, because at that time SoundCloud was like,
I say to this day SoundCloud's where the streets are at, because you get Spotify numbers, but it's like not everybody trying to pay for a Spotify subscription, respectfully, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely feel like kind of like the streets lost a little bit of tune with you. But since I feel like, I guess 2020-ish, even 2021, especially now, lately in 2022, you dropped already 2 projects. You've been back in the swing of things. Yeah. And obviously drill has grown a lot. Did you ever expect it to grow to like a different borough as far as like the Bronx and shit like that?
Hell no, I ain't expect that. I ain't gonna hold you. Not saying it's not talent like coming from the Bronx, but it's like, it was just like kind of like, shocking, like, and I liked what I do like about it is that they came through and kind of like, you know, put their twist and all that shit to it. So it kind of, you know, it's keeping it still fresh. It's keeping it still alive as if it never happened before. But they gotta know how to motherfucking, like, how you say it? Like, they gotta know how to, I don't know how to say it, like maneuver, you feel me? Cause I see a lot of them is young, so it's like, you feel me? A lot of them young rappers, so they just gotta know how to rap that shit and maneuver around it, so you don't get jammed, get jammed up, and then it's like, now you just wasted your, you feel me? Everything type shit.
Nah, exactly what you're saying. Like, they definitely brought back the grittiness in that disrespect, cause I feel like there's some tracks in the X scene that's just like, it's
drastic.
Yeah, to say the least. How do you feel like people could learn from your experience and the fact that you took a break and was just able to reposition yourself within drill to make it more sustainable for yourself?
I feel like, you know, like as far as like my advice, as far
exactly. What would you give like to an upcoming Bronx drill artist?
I mean, I would say, you know, stay true to your sound, but at the same time, like, just know that if you not like that, don't, you know, that shit could really catch up to you for real. Either way, like, fucking cases is not free. You gotta have money. So if you don't got money, then it's like you just out here playing with you feel me? You fucking around type shit. But you know, or I don't know. I could just say, you feel me? Do what's best for you type shit. Or
do you feel like that scene, or even the drill scene in general, like, for example, you got people like Mayor Eric Adams trying to say like it's not sustainable, they should get it off the streets. Obviously never gonna get off the streets, that's dumb. But do you think it's sustainable for a career though?
What, drill music?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, facts, hell yeah. Cause this is what's it's selling, like, it's gonna sell, you know, and they know that, you know, it always been about something like that, like, you feel me? Like, as far as the marketing and the bit, he's marketable, like, so it don't matter if he's rapping about killing whatever or doing whatever. If you know the right people and get put in the right situations, you gonna be alright, you feel me? And then if you know how to diverse it and shit, then you definitely, you feel me? You gonna be, hell yeah, I could say that as a career. You know,
how you feel like it was, you saying like it's gonna get tricky? What you think? What you mean by that?
I mean, that's the mayor, so, you know, if he start moving like that, then, you know, yo, look, hey, Mr. Mayor, nigga said, leave us alone, man. We might have to be the biggest op, bro. But the mayor, you know, the mayor might get some strict YouTube shit going on, but they start taking the vids down to me. Like, I'm thinking like further, like, this shit could get crazy if it was, but that's why I mean, like I said, and it's not just for the Bronx, this period with drill rappers, like, be careful, like, just maneuver it, you feel me? Don't hot this shit up before everybody could blow up, you feel me? Like, the fuck?
Nah, it's definitely kind of been a pattern between, like, basically the streets make it hot, then the mainstream kind of tries to chill it down. And that happened in your era. Era is hard to say because it's only been 5-6 years, right? But back in 2016, 2017, 2018, and then it got hot until 2020, and then now they're trying to like dumb it down again. Do you think there's any way to break that cycle of like the streets making it hot, then the industry kind of trying to cool it down?
Nah, I don't know. You feel me? This shit gonna keep going. I think the industry they like, it's funny with the industry too, a little bit too. You feel me? Like, they embrace it. They gonna embrace it, then try to, you know, look like this or go against it. And like, it's just weird, you know? You just gotta know where it's really genuine at, like, type shit. You gotta understand that, you feel me? Because these niggas is crazy. Like, the shit get real vicious.
Because you got artists like Fivio, for example, who's obviously like extremely mainstream, right? Like on one of the biggest songs of the year with Ye.
That's a hard track too.
He probably won his best verses. Probably won his best verses.
That's a legendary one, Fivio. Legendary.
Do you think that like there will be a lot of drill artists to come to that position, like to be like basically one of the biggest artists in the world?
Facts, definitely. Definitely got the, you know, it definitely got the potential to do that, like, for sure. And they should definitely keep that in mind. Like, if I can't say if he did it, I could do it, because it ain't one of those type of sports. You feel me? Niggas get that messed up, like, type shit. But as far as the motivation, like, the work, like, and just, you know, dedicated to whatever you do, it don't gotta just be music. Niggas just wanna rap. Like, you feel me? Whatever you do, just be great at that shit, and you gonna get, you feel me? You gonna get something good coming out of it, for sure.
Facts. Now, speaking of, your project just dropped, like 3 days ago? Life Like Mine. Can you, like, if there's one main message you're trying to get across to your audience in that tape, what was it?
I'm on their eyes. I am back. I am on their eyes, yo.
I got you. Like,
be aware. Y'all niggas be aware. You feel me? Well, Hell yeah, but shout out to everybody that's doing anything for me type shit. Well,
Nah, facts gangsta. How do you feel like your sound has evolved from when you started making music to this tape? Because I feel like this tape kind of has a little bit of a different sound, and a few people that I've spoken to about the tape had told me that.
Yeah. You said what? Say it again.
Yeah, I feel like this tape have like a little bit of different sound. How do you feel like you've approached music differently? You found that like new sound.
Beat selection for sure. You know, you feel me? You know, my cousin, you feel me? He on deck with that shit heavy. So, you know, he coming through like, yo, look, this is you, nigga. Like, I know you fuck before music, like, type shit. Like, I know what you like, shit like that. You feel me? We've been around forever. So it's just like the beat selection play a big part in that, because that's the vibes, you feel me, type shit. So, and I feel like me being a rapper, I could rap to anything. So it's like, some of the songs, like Lights, that's on the shit, you feel me? It was like a, you know, like, how would I say, it was like a challenge, you feel me? It wasn't a heavy, right. It wasn't a big challenge, but it was like a challenge. It was like, for me, it was kind of me stepping outside of my box. So I feel like I'm showing you my life and shit, but I'm showing you that I could do it in any style, form, or way. Like, nigga, like, I'm really nice. Like, I could do this shit. Oh, they doing that now, I can do that. Nigga, I've been doing this shit for a long time. Like, you feel me?
That's a fact. Because it kind of has,
like, a long time.
It has like kind of like the Jersey club beat sort of influence. Am I tweaking?
Yeah, right. Definitely do. Yeah,
word. That one
that's
also
one of the main things that I realized about it, type shit.
Yeah, and you catch like great cadences on those. Right. Cause that one in Drunk in Miami.
Yeah. A lot of people feel me fucking with the Drunk in Miami though. I like
that one goes crazy too.
Well, I like that. I'm definitely gonna shoot a video too. We about to shoot a video to that soon. I'm thinking about doing that.
I feel like also like, cause for example, you got those kind of two Jersey club type songs, which is like Lights and Drunk in Miami. Then with Demons is like more drill, like typical drill, right? Like classic shit. Turn it. You feel me? Not even to cut you off. Those songs is like the typical hood nigga favorite drill songs. Or like not even hood nigga, it's just a typical like that's like the favorite. Yeah. You feel me? Your favorite drill song type shit is like that vibe type shit. Yeah, like it's just you kind of familiar with that sort of like lane. Mm-hmm. But then I think it's No Sleep Tonight or not.
No Sleep
Part 2. Yeah. Part 2. That one's a little bit different. How did that kind of like come across?
That's my cousin too. You feel me? Well, like that shit got brought up on some shit like, yo, I know that we needed a song with a female. You feel me? It just was the beat selection to have to be right. You know, that's a song with a female. The girl have to be right. You feel me? Type shit. You know, you feel me? And you know, I be like on my IG and shit tuning in, but I don't really like you feel me? I be worried about what I got going on and shit. So I ain't really know who certain people was and shit. You feel me? Type. But I gave it a listen and I jacked it. Like, oh nah, this is hell yeah, this fire. You feel me? And he put that shit together. Like, nah, yeah, we gonna do this. For me? And you know, the rest is history. That shit fire. For me?
Yeah.
Shout out to Riley. For me? Shout out to Siobhan. For me? That shit was history in the making.
I gotta give you your props, because I feel like part of the way that heads are gonna elevate the drill shit to mainstream is by making sure there's a lot of different lanes. Like, for example, he was able to create regular, like, kind of traditional drill shit, the more Jersey club shit, then also more lovey shit. There's different vibes on your tape. Vibey also, that's a whole different, but it's still kind of sample drill, like, so
and if they really like listening to the shits that's being spoken about and all that shit, it's still giving life. It's still giving like part of me. It's still me. Like, he's speaking through this shit. You just gotta, you feel me? You gotta listen. Like, you feel me? Type shit. Even if it's a fun song, I'm not just writing bullshit. Like, I'm not just saying bullshit. Like, I ain't just saying something because it rhyme cat and hat type shit.
Yeah.
Because I got a fucking nice little dance, one of these little shits, feel me? Word, like, not against motherfuckers that do that, but it's like, because whatever, like I said, do what's best for you. Whatever works for you works, but just know how to maneuver the shit. But, like, you feel me? Well, I just feel like I'm just different. Like, I'm just a bit, you feel me? Different from these niggas, man.
Yeah, and I think, like, you was talking how you was talking your shit on the tape, and Life Like Mine, I think, kind of sums it up a lot pretty well. And I think for anybody who has been in tune with you, knows that you've been through a lot of, whether it be losing your boys to the streets, losing your boys to the cells, and there's a lot of artists that are going through that currently. How would you say, like, as an artist who was able to deal with that, and how's that influenced your music and influenced you?
I mean, like, a lot of this shit, like a lot of stuff I've been going through from young, so I kind of went through like trauma and shit. So it's like, I know now when stuff, I'm not saying that I'm numb, But now when stuff happen, I just deal with it like a little bit smarter and a little bit differently from how I would have dealt with it from before. Like it still hurt, the pain still hurt, you feel me? But you gotta move on. You really have to keep going. You get what I'm trying to say? So and that be the hard part. Then you got the part of you just niggas thinking that they could play around because you on different type of time and on some shit like that. You feel me? You might have to feel like that you gotta motherfucking show yourself, but you don't. Like, I'm a nigga that's been like, the shit speak for itself, so I really, like, I'm chilling, you feel me? I don't gotta really do none of that type of shit no more, you feel me? But as far as like, like you said, it's people losing people now still currently, and it's like, the best way like to deal with that from my experience is just, I feel like that shit come with experience, like it come with time. Like, you gotta have that type of, you feel me, strong mentality for sure, because you'll lose yourself. Like, imagine you being with somebody every day and then, feel me, they die or some shit like that, or you feel me, this shit means that shit affect you heavy.
Yeah, do you feel like your music kind of helps you get through that because you have like a place to express yourself?
Yeah, heavy. I feel like that I could express it a little bit more. I feel like it's something that's like not holding it, but it's like and that's what I'm working on to find it. Like that's why I'm searching different shit, because you never know, it might not be the drill shit that might help me express it. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, to fully express it. I might need this type of shit, and it might come out. You know what I'm trying to say? But it's a lot more shit like that's just inside that is like, this shit is crazy.
Nah, it's a fact, because I feel like we mostly get the turn up side of you on your music, and exactly how you're just expressing, like, there's other aspects to it.
Exactly. Facts. Definitely.
Is there, like, apart from, I know you got a visual coming with Mano soon, is there anything for the fans to look forward to from yourself, like, going forward?
Yeah, hell yeah. I got Drunk in Miami coming. I got Demons, Turning, Lights. Lights is the main, like, Lights is the single, so that's like, you feel me? That's
so you're doing visuals for pretty much most of the tape. Yeah,
hell yeah, you feel me? Not all of them, I might change my mind, you feel me, down the line and shit, as far as like the format of shit, but Lights is next. Like, that's like the, you feel me, that's the single. Like, that's what I'm pushing. Like,
I got
you feel me? They gonna get real familiar with that, and then when the visual drop, yeah, you feel me? Like, type shit, yeah, hell yeah. That's what I mean by, it's like, I took time, and everything is like, I feel like I feel better than ever, bro. Like, I don't feel like, you feel me? I do feel like I owe a lot of music to my fans, so I'm just, feel me? I'm on the road right now. Type shit.
Nah, it seemed like you pretty tuned in with Elvis Beats, because I think he got like, what, 3? He got 3 beats on there or 2?
Yeah, probably like 2 or 3.
Yeah. How'd you get into him, mans?
Through like basically like just the internet type shit. He was sending me. It's crazy. He actually was sending me beats and shit for a minute. But I was my email was crazy, like crazy. Yeah. I'm talking about bananas. Like I just went through a fucking hacking situation, some crazy shit. That's another story. But like, my email crazy. But he been sending me beats and shit. But I wasn't really tuned into them. And then I seen the name, like I seen it on the internet. And then I seen the name, I'm like, hold on, I put this shit in my email. I'm like, wow, what the fuck? And then I listened to the beats, and it was those, like, that type of beats. I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah, fire.
This nigga been trying to, you feel me, type shit. Word. And I just started, and then more so, I just start more so tapping into shit, like the hot producers that's putting shit out now and shit like that. Mm-hmm.
What do you think kind of reinvigorated you to get back on the horse?
My daughter, for sure. Cause it's like, I feel like I put so much like time into this shit. It's like I can't let it be a waste. Like I put too much time, you feel me? And really like I said, I'm not just writing blah 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 shit. So it's like I'm putting time, it's money, people putting money into this shit with me. So it's like this shit not a game, you feel me? As far as like the inspiration, that definitely was like, my daughter and shit, just, looking at her, like, yeah, I got her, you feel me? We gotta do it, you feel me? Type shit. And I'm in a position to change a lot of people's life. So it's like, that shit feel good alone. It's pressure, but it's like, all right, we gonna do it, you feel me?
Yeah. I mean, it's like you pretty much already, most of the way there is just like that final push, it seemed like. Because you got a solid fan base. Mm-hmm. And a lot of connections within the industry. How did you kind of like go about like creating those connections?
That's just, that's me being me. I feel like that's me being myself, and when people get to meet me and shit, they like, nah, yeah, the son is, he humble, you feel me? Like, I never ever, from the beginning of my whole trip, from the beginning, before, it was like, I never let it get to me. You get what I'm trying to say? I always knew that. Like, yo, don't let this shit get to you. Like, you feel me? But sometimes it's cool, you know, you gotta stand for something. But I never really let it get to me. Like, I always remain humble about the situation. Fans, I had fans, all that. You feel me? For years. Like, I'm talking about, like, I couldn't take the train 4 years ago. Before that, because of street shit and all that. But I'm talking about some legit shit where it's people that I don't know that know me.
Yeah.
It's like, nigga, what? Like, that shit been happening for years. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like, that shit is like, I never really let it get to me. I always been, you know, respectful with people that's respectful with me. Like, I kept those connections. Like, people that I met, I made sure, you know, I kept those, you know, sources. And it's good to just move around and rub shoulders. Don't be afraid to get out. Like, I had to get out. Like, let me get out and really meet, you feel me? Meet different people, shit like that.
Yeah. So you naturally just like a pretty social person?
Not really, hell no. We very anti-social, but on a business, yeah, hell yeah. But on some bit, like, cause this shit is about that now, bro. It's like, it's easy to do all the other shit. You feel me? This shit is about business. So when you mix, when you a real, like, when you not a real street nigga. I'm not saying not a real street nigga, but I don't want to sound ignorant. Like, when you a street like nigga and you coming from that kind of shit, you feel me? It's different. You feel me? When you gotta mix that with being famous and shit, like that shit is very different. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you gotta,
a famous person, some random person will come up to him on the street. Meanwhile, if you a street nigga, like, that's gonna be like, yo,
and then it's chill, like, bro. You gotta think from shows to like down to the promoters. Like, the promoters hitting you up for shows, I'm aware. You don't think I'm thinking this could be a setup, this could be like, the shit fuck with you a little bit, but it's kind of like you just gotta know the moves. You gotta know what you're doing. You feel me? Because it's very nasty out here. You feel me? So it's like, I won't say that we social people, because we not. You feel me? But as far as with the music, we had to become that. Like, because this is how you gonna expand. And I feel like we did great. Like, you know, we rubbed the shoulders with who we needed to rub the shoulders with, and it kind of stayed. Like, you feel me? So,
that's a fact. And speaking of, like, kind of like you and your people's wildlife. What is that? Like, tell the people a little bit about that, because it's kind of new information even to myself.
Yeah, wildlife is basically something that's like a lifestyle, you feel me? Shout out to my boy Trap, you feel me? Like, we put that together on some shit, like, basically, you know, it's not a gang, it's more so like a lifestyle, like, where it come, like,
I got you.
It's more so what you live in. Like, you could be a wild college boy in college and you live a wild life at home, and you in college living a wild life, you feel me? It's kind of just, that's how it came about, you feel me? Before it was on some music shit. It was just on some, like, nigga, we wild life, like, you feel me? Like, we wild, nigga, like, we live a wild life, like, everything is wild, you feel me? Like, type shit. So it's like wild shit. Like, I'm talking about shit like, y'all little niggas is wild, and fuck y'all out here wilding like that type shit. So it kind of got like that, and then it kind of like started to mean something to me, like, more and more as I'm going. It's like, nah, son, this shit is really wild. Like, nigga, like, we wild, you feel me? Like, so I tatted it on my face, and then it's over. Like, it's like, nigga, what? I'm going forever with this shit.
It's kind of like, this shit is surreal. Like, it's just crazy to think, like, the lifestyle like, that living nowadays. I started tapping into the roots of the shit, and I'm like, nah, this shit is meaningful, like, to me. Like, you feel me? And it's really not a gang at all. So it's like, I feel like it could go for everybody. Like, it ain't, you know, it ain't some shit that's keeping you boxed in or is like biased and that you could be biased to. It's like, it's a wild life. You feel me? How would you, like, say that you transition more towards the music and the business and away from the street shit?